Hi, my name is Mike Palmquist. I'm from the Good Times Track Club.
I'm Judy Lutter from Northern Lights and Melpomene Institute. And we're here to tell you a little bit about the Get in Gear race, which began 5 years ago. First year was run at the Prudential Center, and since has been starting here at Minnehaha Falls.
We'd like to help you get acquainted a little bit with how the course works and what you'll be getting into when you go to the Get in Gear.
We're standing now right by the pavilion. This is where people running the 2 mile pick up their t-shirts back here, and those people running the 10K pick up registration materials.
Two real important things before a race is to be well hydrated and to usually go to the bathroom. Over here inside the building you'll find 2 water fountains and men's and women's lavatories. This is the band shell. Before the race there will be a band playing here, and people will be in the area right around the band shell doing their warm-up.
I think you'll be surprised at the different kinds of warm-up people will be doing. Some will be jogging, some lying around, some stretching. The Minneapolis YMCA, one of the co-sponsors of the race, has a nice card that you can pick up which gives you ideas not only for that day, but how to get in gear for the 6 weeks ahead of time.
After the race, the awards ceremony will be held here at the band shell. You'll also see a lot of people just sitting around, enjoying themselves and talking about the fun they had during the race. Imagine there are 5,000 people behind us. This is the start of the Get in Gear 10K. There'll be a banner above us saying Get in Gear, and behind us there will be a series of signs saying 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and so on. Judy, could you tell us what that means?
Yeah, those markers are there to give people an idea of where they should place themselves before the race. If you know you're a speedster, have run 5-minute miles consistently, then get up near the beginning. But if you know that your pace is more like 10 minutes per mile, you want to wind your way back through that crowd, find the 10-minute spot, and start there. It's real important because if you start up too early, you're going to be trampled by runners who really belong ahead of you. Well, should we take a look at the course? You ready?
All right, let's go.
Coming up on the 1 mile mark now, this is where the 2 milers are going to turn around and head back. And you can all hear 1 mile time being called out.
It's pretty important to listen for that first mile time. If you're with the lead pack, you may be going through in 4:20 or 4:30. If you're one of the runners who's taking up the rear of the pack, you may be coming through in about 15 minutes. People want to listen to that first mile split in order to get an idea of how fast they're going, whether they should pick it up or slow it down.
You do want to check your pace at that point, because if you're going way out, you're not going to finish very comfortably. On the other hand, if you're slower, you still have a lot of time to pick it up.
We're coming up on the 2 mile mark right now. This is another chance for you to check your pace and see if you're doing what you want to be doing. It's a good time to adjust your pace. The next half mile is pretty flat. About 4 or 5 blocks from here, you're coming up on a water stop. That's a real important part of the race.
You're going to want to pick up water even if you don't stop. And if you don't feel like drinking any, you're probably at least going to want to pour some on your face and head.
We're just about to the Lake Street Bridge now. It's about 50 yards from where I'm standing. This is going to be a point in the race where you're going to get up off of the road and onto the path prior to crossing the bridge. There'll be a water stop set up here. There'll be tables with glasses filled with water, and everybody should be thinking about getting some of that water.
Some of you may want to throw it on your head. Others of you are going to want to take a good drink. As you're running, the muscles in your body are working pretty hard and increasing the temperature of your body. Also in a race, there's just that adrenaline and excitement that is also increasing your normal body temperature. So you're probably going to feel pretty hot and flushed. Even if you don't yet, it's a good idea to take some water because from experience, I think you're going to need it around the curve here. Why don't we show you how that curve goes? We'll cross the bridge now into St. Paul.
Okay, we've just crossed over the Lake Street Bridge and we're about a quarter mile into St. Paul. The 3-mile mark is coming up, and right after that the first and really the only major hill in the course.
The 3-mile mark, you're going to want to listen for your time again, see if your pace is holding up, make adjustments if you can and want to, and you're up for this hill.
The hill isn't a lot of fun, especially for a first-timer on this course. You've been running along in what so far is basically a very flat course, and you're thinking, hey, it's not going to be so bad. You really got to watch out for it. Maybe slow up your pace a little bit, and just think about getting over the hill, because right after the hill is a nice, long, easy downhill. Okay, we're coming up on the 4-mile mark of the race. You've got 2¼ miles left, and you're starting to think about how you're going to finish. The last 2 miles of a 10K are generally the longest 2 miles of the race, so you should be thinking that you want to conserve a little energy between here and the 5-mile mark. It's not as bad as it might be seeming, even though you're getting real tired right now. But when you get through that last mile, you're going to feel real good. So, it's like 1 bad mile left.
There is water coming up at 5 too, which might be important for some of you to remember even now. Make it to that water stop and rest if you have to. This is the second water stop. You're just about to the 5-mile mark, and you really want to stop here and put some water on your face. You can do it on the run if you're still flying, but you want to be sure to have it before you round into that last mile onto the finish.
If you've got anything left at all, you're going to be thinking about your finish strategy. So you've got a couple of turns coming up, and then you head up onto the Ford Parkway Bridge. And from there, it's only about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile to the finish.
Let's go on and see what the finish looks like then.
When I'm coming across the bridge, we've got about a quarter mile, maybe 3/8 of a mile left in the race. And I'm going to be thinking that I've got about 200 yards of downhill before we hit that last uphill stretch to the finish. And I'm going to be trying to decide when I should start to pick up the pace a little bit, when I should really let it all go, just go all the way into the finish line. I'm going to be finishing on the left along with all of the men under 40, so I'll be sort of edging over to that side of the road as I head towards the finish line.
For some of you who maybe aren't quite as competitive or good as Mike, we're going to be thinking more about making it across that finish line, but remaining with a little reserve for that last little uphill. Women and men over 40 are going to split off to the right. There are going to be people with signs there, so there shouldn't be any difficulty, and you will notice the split occurring probably just before that line.
After the race, they'll be handing out the awards, and you'll also see people just sitting around having a good time, talking to their friends about just what went on in the race and how they enjoyed it.